Hi, I'm Aruna Shetty, the head of schools at 21K School. Today I'm joined with Dr. Senthil,
Hi.
who is on the board of directors, by Ms. Sangeeta Basu, who is a senior school facilitator, Ms. Venkataraman, who is also a facilitator with the British Senior School, Ms. Suman Belliappa, who is a coordinator with us in the primary section, and Ms. Arpita Prakash, who is also a coordinator in the primary section. We at 21K School have now stepped into the 5th year of being an online school. Our conversation today is about understanding our journey in the 5 years and how we have impacted the education world and the society at large. So let's have a conversation with the four experienced facilitators of 21K to understand their journey in the 5 years. So moving on to you girls, let's try to hear from you and understand how the journey into the school has been for each one of you. So who would like to start with sharing their experience of moving from a regular teaching space to the online space?
Good morning. It was a wonderful feeling, first of all. When I came to know about online school, I was like, it sounded too good to be true. Is it really working? Does it work? And I was taking a break from my long physical school career, and I thought I'll take a break. I'll not, join anywhere. Then I got this opportunity, and I thought, why not? This seems very interesting, a new area. And when I joined, the whole perception was different. How the school functions, the technical things, technical aspects, and there is such a huge room for professional development. I'm constantly learning things every year, every day. There is something new to look up to. And I'm totally into this online teaching mode now.
All right, that's good to know. Ms. Uma?
Very good morning. When I heard about the school 21K and it was told to me by my son, he said, Amma, why don't you try this school? Because you've been going out day in and day out, and being a climate activist, definitely you want to bring about a zero carbon footprint. So let's, the commuting part, especially in Bangalore city, is a big headache. And he said, why don't you try this? I just went through the brochure and I was so thrilled to say that home in the school, a school is within the four walls of the home. Let me just give out. Immediately I took that and just applied myself. And today I'm so proud to be a part of 21K School. Many of the my dreams that I had, it is completely, awe of everything. Every day is a new learning to me, a new dawn to me. And interaction with children beyond parents. That is the way I am. I'm thrilled to be a part of this school.
Thank you. Ms. Suman, I think you have now been with us for 3 years and you have transitioned from being a facilitator to a coordinator today. So do share your experience within the school.
Good morning. I was actually taking a break from work. I had done some online work with another school during COVID, but when I was just not doing anything, actually my maid asked me, are you not going to work? So I went to LinkedIn and was going through, and I saw the job opportunities in 21K, and I applied. Actually, I carpet bombed a lot of jobs, but 21K stood out. I think they reached out pretty fast. Onboarding was so easy and so fast. And once I'm in the school, I didn't know what it was about, but I like the entire concept of how we teach through activity. And like you're saying, 21K is about happy classrooms. That got to me. And I enjoyed my teaching. 2 years, I was a facilitator. Then from last year, I'm a coordinator. I do miss teaching sometimes. I do go to class, but I'm enjoying it. And when people ask me, why do you work long hours? I say, it's not because I have to, because I like doing it.
Okay.
It's continuous learning.
Quite reassuring that you like the long hours.
Yeah, I do like the long hours. So yeah, I don't mind.
So Ms. Arpita, I think you too have transitioned from being a facilitator in the early years to now managing even grade 1 and 2. So please do share your experience of how this transition has been for you.
So it's been very rewarding for me, especially coming from a very traditional school to 21K, which is totally tech savvy school. But it gave me opportunity to actually find the creativeness inside me, and I could effectively find different resources that I can use to help my learners. So it has been a very rewarding journey. And now, as I am the coordinator, I totally agree with Ms. Suman. Even I miss teaching. Sometimes I do get in the class to meet my little learners. And one more thing that I would like to say is that it's not only happy classrooms, it's happy crew also. Especially when we meet after so long, it's always been a very enriching part, even though every day we see each other on Zoom, but when we meet physically, it's a different story itself.
I just want to build upon what Aruna said now. What is that one aha moment you had when you moved from a regular school to a online or a virtual school? What is that one aha moment? Okay, you felt that this is something which I was missing in the regular school, and now I get this benefit in a online school. So, what is that one moment? Because it's almost like the
Yes.
fifth year, the
Yes.
school is, we are already in fifth year, right? And in the last 5 years, you have seen, and there are a lot of times we feel that, I normally say, teachers normally think, I don't want to go back to school, late evening. But then what is that one positive thing you said that this is something which I feel that made sense for me or made my day as a teacher? Anyone can say. What is that one aha moment?
The connect that we form even with the parents,
Mhm.
that doesn't happen in traditional school, is something what I feel. Because in traditional school, what happens is parents come and drop the child and go, and we meet them during the time of parent teacher meeting
Or any other parent
some other
interact.
meeting. But here it's open, it's so transparent. We are meeting them every day. If they have any concern, we talk to them. We have parent connects happening. So the feedback, the suggestions that we get from parents, even the involvement that we get from parents, that never happened in traditional school. Now here, sometimes, like just few days back, I had a guest speaker session by a parent who recently finished a construction in he works in Japan, and he is into construction. So he came in to talk to learners about materials that is used for construction. So that's a beautiful connect. So that was one of the aha moment, I can say, that where we can connect with parents so easily.
So the parent engagement is something very, very
Yes.
interesting. Yeah. What about others?
So I feel it is the instant results that you see. So you deliver a concept and you get a result because of gamification of there are so many gamification tools we have, and it's easy to engage students that way. They don't lose interest, and they'll come back remembering what they've done the previous day. And also, I think the global thing of the entire classroom. Children are from different parts of the world, and we learn so much from each other.
So diversity is something which you enjoy in the.
Not only in terms of demography, in terms of abilities also. So kids of different learning abilities are there in class, special needs kids. It's a very inclusive atmosphere, and kids learn from each other. And I think because they feel very uh, free to come up with their own ideas, and they're not scared to speak out. So that is one thing that I really like, because in a traditional classroom, I'm standing like a leader somewhere and they're all sitting. And it looks like very intimidating, right? We're just giving some lecture, whatever do. And also, I've always been a technology buff. So I used to, even in a regular school, I used to take them to the computer lab to show them things, because I feel we are not preparing kids for future jobs. So here, the focus on skills is what, yeah, I
You
like
liked
that.
it.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Learners from far-fetched places, remote places, with hopes and aspirations in their eyes. Definitely, we need to cater to them. That is the biggest advantage I saw in our school, especially in a city like Bangalore, where schools are mushroomed across the city. Only the local learners are coming to the school,
Correct. Who are geographically closer to the school.
geographically close to the school. And you have learners from across the area where, parents, when they come for interaction, they start with the namaste, madam. The way they, the respect that just flows out of their mouth. I just, no ma'am, please be at ease. You can talk about your child. No ma'am, we don't know English. So the child takes up the thing, and this teacher teaches me this particular, and so I'm very happy to be in our class. Whatever it is, small little words spoken about us. I think we are the real school. 21K online is the real school, I feel. And moreover, in a physical setup, it is as Miss told just now, Miss Tanuja told just now, you are standing in front of the child, it becomes a teacher-centric classroom rather than a student-centric classroom. There, in 21K setup, every child, yes, you must see one question put in the class, so many hands raised up. That is something, really enjoyable. Moreover, you are always in the house catering to your mother, grandmother, or whatever needs that you are part of your family. You never forget that.
Sure. So you're very much the work-life balance between the work and the role as a teacher. I think both is something very interesting. And what about you?
What I really admire about 21K school is, first of all, it is meant for this century, as the name suggests, 21K. And the level of communication that we have, not just with parents and the learners, but also among ourselves. I mean, we might never have met, but we are collaborating on certain points, and the support that we get from the management, the technical teams, and it takes a fraction of a second to solve any issue. So it feels sometimes like we are so apart, but yet we are always connected. There is never a moment of feeling that, no, I'm not part of this crew or this entire team. So the communication, and of course, I have to talk about the flexibility. When I join the classes, my mind will be there. In the morning, I know that this is my login time. My mind will be at work, but there is still time that I can take care of myself. I can also focus on my health. And funnily, I can say this, that I was missing home-cooked hot lunch on this class. So something that I can enjoy now. And that is very important. We often, focus on our careers, and later in the years, we feel like we have neglected our health. And we have wellness sessions. We talk among ourselves. We have counselors. So it's everything at 21K school. So
Thank you.
this is the place to be.
So when you were talking about your aha moments, I think one of you also talked about the school being inclusive, right? So how do you think the school being or having an inclusive culture has impacted the students' different abilities within the school, and how the school, in your experience, has dealt with these students with the different abilities and needs of the students? So we would like you to share some of your experiences on that.
May I?
Sure, please.
This is one aspect of 21K school that actually attracted me, that being inclusive. Now, we know that as per the national curriculum policy, schools should be inclusive, but in physical schools, there are not often the proper infrastructures. Children, they find it difficult to fit in, whether it's physical challenges or psychological challenges. But when I joined 21K, and I can say this, that I'm blessed to have children in my class who have special needs, and the way the faces light up with a small response to them, or just wishing them good morning, how are you doing, I missed you in class. And even during parent connect sessions, or when we meet during PTMs, we can see how happy the parents are. They often tell us that, we were worried that how my child will be coping up with others. And another sense, I think 21K is building is the culture of empathy. So in a classroom, there are all sorts of students, and some of them are very fast in giving responses. Some child might feel a little shy, or there will be some challenges that the child is using chat for that. So I can see initially the others might feel a little, like, okay, how should I cope with this, but they have grown empathetic. They wait for it. They love to collaborate with them. They push them up. Like, okay, if they're taking more time to speak during a presentation, let them be. They're not holding their hands. They're just giving them the time. And I think this is one of the very important personal skill also we adults also need to learn. To have that sense that the whole world is meant for all of us. We are not in boxes. We are all together. So that culture is very, very attracting at 21K.
Okay, that's really wonderful to hear, Ms. Sangeeta. Yes, Ms. Uma, if you would like to share.
Including children with the inclusivity or with different abilities and disability, whatever it is, putting them in the mainstream is what we are doing. See, we are giving a very good positive direction to them. To that, you also can study and make a mark of yourself. You also can collaborate with everyone. You can go to, you can mark your name anywhere in the globe. Definitely, the child is having, I'm also on the same foot as the others. So if you very clearly go back a little, maybe 5 years, towards before 5 years, you can see that parents were very skeptical. They didn't want to even ADHD, which nowadays some people boast of that they have that. They say, oh, no, my son has ADHD. In very secretive terms, they come and talk to you. Nowadays, in 21K, recently, day before yesterday, I took a VI of a student whose part of the brain development is not there, where the child cannot do any geometry or physics lab work, physics, chemistry, but child can do history. So the parent was with me, and I explained to the parent. She was so happy. Miss, can you just share me the French Revolution? This child, incidentally, is going to come to AS level. And already he is in our school, but he is now changing subjects because of this problem. The doctors have advised him to go in for a subject which is more theoretical in nature. So the parent was so happy. Miss, today evening, can you send me one question and answer of French Revolution? That's what I'm handling now. I immediately shared with them. Yesterday, the child was in the class. And only demand the parent as, Miss, start from the beginning. Like other children,
Do a
you start
recapitulation.
in between, the child may lose the continuity. So that was, he started asking me questions. I was like, all these years I had this feeling that, these children cannot cope up with the normal way of learning and other things. No, it's not that. We as 21K proved that children of, any disability come along with us, talk to them, give them the encouragement, give them the courage to face the world, automatically they will come up.
Okay, that's so right.
Just wanted to understand, see, because in a standard 30 students classroom in a regular school, vis-a-vis 20 children in a classroom school, do you think the online or the virtual methods have helped you to personalize the learning better?
Definitely online.
Yeah, because whatever you were saying, I was just trying to connect, because one of the challenge for teacher typically is that to hold on children in a typical standard regular school. But when you're trying to talk about an online school, you felt that this was something, the online helped you to personalize the learning process quite a lot.
Definitely. As a history teacher, no mention goes without Hitler.
Okay.
He is the chocolate boy of the class. Miss, today what you're going to talk about Hitler? Yesterday, I was just talking to them about Akadru. We are initiating children. Children are taking up certain assignments. And one assignment was about the story of sand, S-A-N-D, sand. Immediately, some of my students, they started the Sand World War I, Sand World War II, Ham Sandburger. They were creating some 40 odd words out of sand. I was just floored. Oh God, look at the level of understanding and the way they communicate with us. Happy in the class. Miss, whatever you taught, we have put it in with sand as one of the words, and they have expressed that. So that is the level of excitement. I can very, very comfortably and confidently say that this boy will go places in this particular history or whichever subject that I'm dealing with today. He will go places or she will go places. That's for sure. That's the level of, understanding, the compatibility, the vibe. Of course, we need to create that vibe in the class, bustling with enjoyment. All the 2024, I have around 22 students in my grade 9 IGCSE class. And, they all, almost 18 of them all every day is present in the class with full. Miss, today what is, my class begins at 11:10 and they're already there at 11:01, 11:02. Miss, good morning, Miss. Good morning. They keep, even if I keep muted, they will keep
Very enthusiastic.
very enthusiastic. Today, Miss, what are you going to teach? That is the level of, I just love that. Taking history to that level.
Yes.
In normal Indian terms, let me not pull down the others.
And this you are sharing with us after having more than 20 years of experience of teaching in
a
the
regular
regular
school.
schools. And you, in this 1 year that you have joined us, I think your experience has just manifold. It has kind of grown exponentially.
The global, audience I have today. And
Very
just,
nice
I'm
to
so
hear
happy
that.
to deal with certain areas, which is, the normal Indian curriculum does not cater to this. I mean, I'm talking about CBSE or ICSE. So these areas don't come under them. But under Cambridge, the history is taken to another level. As a history teacher, I'm totally happy.
So let's hear from Ms. Suman.
So I want to build on the special needs kids. So when I first started, there was 8 children in my class. So in a way, for younger kids, the parents may not be knowing there is an issue, but there is a point of reference in class, right? They would see the other kids, and then because I have worked with special needs kids when I was in college for NSS, so I don't know. I had this thing of I figure out, even online I could figure out there would be some slow learners, not to feel bad, but the parent would come up and said, I think there is an issue with my child, and 8 of them were there, and all were different. And in a way, I think some of them are still there in school. They send me messages like one sentence, I love you, and I still get messages like that in the portal. So they feel visible more than anything. That is the one thing I think we as facilitators have, and 21K School has trained us to do that, where we make them visible, and they have some, even they are, if they have speech delays and speech issues, they come up and answer. They want to read, they want to engage, and they make friends, and that empathy again flows. I think that is the new normal for the younger kids. Then they start from grade 1 onwards with special needs kids in their class. And
Yeah, because one of the challenge what you're trying to say, students don't get student talk time in the classrooms. And the kind of thought, what I really, I'm quite happy to see that they are sending one-line messages, which is typically and it comes to your inbox. So I think the platform is also taking care of
real time.
the confidentiality of the kid vis-a-vis what you are trying to say. And I think that makes quite a life easy. So you think that your talk time versus student talk time, how do you balance it out? Because to make the class more inclusive, this is something where every child would like to be heard.
Yeah. So in a class, if we engage more with the kids and we know their interest, so even home assignments can be tailor-made. If a child is interested in dinosaurs, so maybe the English assignment will be tailor-made. So he gets a chance to come, and it's his child, a particular child he's still in school with us. He came with a presentation, 14 slides presentation about dinosaurs, and he's researched. And he was so he knew about it. But last I realized that he's still a child. He knows a lot. He's maybe the parents are teaching him a lot about dinosaurs. Last was Godzilla. Last slide was about, then I knew, okay, he's still a child. He's talking about Godzilla. So it is because it's real time. Everything is real time. When we do quizzes, we know the results. We know which child has understood. So we tailor make. It's easier this way, I feel, online. Online is the thing to go, I feel, because offline, as facilitators also, we don't get that satisfaction of knowing that the students have learned anything. Here we do know who knows and who's lagging behind a little bit.
So the maturity is quite helpful for the teachers to personalize at our
Exactly.
campus. Okay. Good.
I also feel that, especially with special need learners, they get the comfort of their parents being around or the comfort of their home for them to open up. So I have been facilitator for many special need learners, and what I have experienced is that with their parent being around, they open up very easily. They try to talk more. We have activities like show and tell, where where the theme is shared with them, and they prepare on that theme. They research, they have their videos, or they have a 3D model ready, and then they talk about it in the class. So when they have their parent next to them, they have that confidence.
Support.
Yes, they have that emotional support from the parent to talk about it. And then they know that this is a safe platform for them to open up. They know their peers, they know the facilitator, because especially with the young learners, seeing the same face every day, it becomes that safe environment for them. So the HRT concepts works a lot with the young learners. And now also many of them are still there, and I feel really happy when they recognize me. Still, when I go to the class, they talk to me. Even when I talk to parents, they recognize the efforts, or whatever has been done all these years. So it's very satisfying to the soul, actually.
Good, because uh, many times, when I work with regular schools, one of the challenge which keeps coming is the social emotional connect, which gets missed by the child in the even a regular school. We find if teachers are not sufficiently equipped, this gap is always visible. And what I personally believe is that for learning, I think it's very important that this connect has to be there. What are those moments? Because it's very important for us, because every practice must show a performance or a end or an output of it. There would have been some moments, where the parents would have come and said that, okay, today I saw something very different, or a question was asked by my child today. So what are such things? There are some moments of truth. I consider them as moments of truth. So what are some of the moments of that truth which you felt, today I feel that I've been a teacher? Through your SEL strategies, social emotional learning strategies, what are those things that you have been trying to experiment in your classroom?
So with young learners, they are actually still at the phase of understanding their emotions.
So when you said young learners, so their age is what?
Their age is 6.
6 years. So we are talking about 6
Yes,
years.
around 5 or 6. Yes. So they're still understanding. They don't know when they feel angry. Actually, it is the feeling of being anger.
Okay.
Or so we introduce them all the emotions, or how we react to those emotions, or how we should react to those emotions. So these things are introduced to them, and how when they are feeling sad, they should actually talk to their parents, or talk to somebody whom they are comfortable with, rather than keeping it inside them. Or we share stories with them, we share videos with them. So I would like to tell one of the incidents. Like, I had a learner in my class who couldn't manage his emotions, especially when something happens. He used to instantly get angry and scream and shout and cry. So I started working with him slowly. Used to call him before the class, and I started giving him strategies to manage his emotions, maybe deep breathing, counting till 10 and all. And when I had the meeting with the parent during PTM, parent mentioned this to me, that they have actually been seeing a lot of changes with him at home, managing his own emotions. When the water fell down, he actually, instead of crying or making a fuss about it, he sat down, and he was like, he took some deep breath, and then he went up and called his mom, saying that I need your help to clean that. So that was a
Wow.
moment of achievement for me also. It was that, okay, this is something, I have done something.
That is also a small aha moment, if you
Yes,
could
That's
call
amazing.
it that.
definitely.
Wow, good.
Okay, building on what Arpita said, being a Habits of the Mind certified School of Excellence, So we do a lot of activity based on that in class, and we throughout the class, throughout the day, in every situation, we try to bring up those one of the habits so that children can connect it to what is happening in class. Maybe it's the lesson, or maybe it's some situation which has happened in class. For example, if I can say that, how did you come up with an answer? They can say, I was thinking about thinking. Or maybe when they're getting the spelling correct, when they're doing English classes, they can say that I was striving for accuracy, then I got the answer correct. So habits of the mind is part of their life as well as our lives also. And in a way that I have learned a lot. And in one of those classes, when vocabulary building was going on, we did an activity where children had to write some words about their emotions in rocks when they feel sad, and also on balloons when they were feeling happy. So a parent came and told me later that how the child had connected the entire vocabulary building activity to tell her how he felt when he lost his grandfather. And she was saying that we had totally ignored asking him how he is feeling, whether he's feeling good. So the entire emotional thing was very cathartic for both of us, for them, I guess. So parent was very happy with that activity, and it makes us do better.
See, more than activity, what I liked about the parent and your example is the child is able to express himself openly. And through while you were doing an activity, but at the end of the day, as part of making learning visible to the child himself, herself, I think it's a good way of expression, what you actually shared. Love that example.
Also, when we look at incorporating various examples, I think what we are looking at those moments which are real-time moments which we don't get in the real school, in or the offline schools. So these emotions, when they come and they share it with us, I think this is what makes our whole experience of incorporating habits of mind and looking at the holistic development, a wonderful experience, even not only for the facilitators, the students, but also for the parents who are passive observers actually in this whole experience, isn't it? Okay, let's move on to now our design, instruction, planning and evaluation within the school. Now, as senior school facilitators, how does this whole process come into being for you?
May I?
Yes, please.
So I think we follow the basic abbreviation of SMART: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant teaching methodologies we take up. So as our entire lesson planning, at the end of the day, the lesson plan includes, at the end of the day, the child should be able to give an opinion of what is being taught. So the concepts are very clear with the child. Child is asked, if you were in the place of this particular hero of a world war or during some Spanish war or French war revolution, what would you have done in this place? So for that, the child should be able to figure out in the mind that, oh, these are the concepts the teacher has taught me. Now I should develop from this. So the lesson plan is made tailored in that manner that, yes, at the end of which the questions are aimed at the child. It is specific questions aimed to them, where they will take up the role and they give the answer, opinion to that particular thing. That is one part. Now, when you see the lesson plans, the structure of the lesson plans, it is structured in such a manner that the amount of learning may not be, it is just not put on them. It is never pressurized, because Cambridge form of learning itself is so smooth going. They have document study and they have, the theoretical study part, outline study part, where the child can, certain lessons are document lessons. So in the document lessons, pictures are given, comic strips are given, posters are put. Child will relate to what the facilitator has done in the class. So it is not plain, otherwise history is a subject easily can be by-hearted, marked up, vomited in the paper, full marks, 100 on 100.
So there is no rote learning over here.
No rote learning, totally no rote learning. They see the picture and then they ask, this is that one event you told in the class. Yes, miss? That's how the reflection goes. Oh, I know I can write. Yes, once that event is clear with them, and very important is, especially in a subject called history, chronology is to be, the events are to be layered one after the other in a beautiful manner. Otherwise, there is a possibility that child may go off track and may end up giving a wrong impression. So that is, care is taken in the lesson plan that it is done in a chronological order, in a manner that every child, every learner in the class can relate to what is happening.
So, how does this translate into your evaluation process when you look at history, particularly as a subject?
So in history, it's a theoretical paper, more or less a theoretical paper, and we do not have MCQs. So automated correction does not happen. It has to be done by the facilitator. So that's the first thing. Now, in the case of assessments, the one thing that I put in the class is, on the one hand, technological development is big and lofty. You can capture the entire world at the tip of your, everything is at the tip of your finger. But in the class, whenever, as a facilitator, when I enter the class, I think I make sure that the class rests on two pillars: responsibility, trust. So the children are responsible. They have to take the ownership of understanding that lesson, writing an answer. I trust my students, learners completely. This is what you have understood. Perfect. So this combination of the two pillars gives us a lot of space between us. The children feeling that my facilitator understands me, the teacher having the complete faith in the students, so that collaboration works out so beautifully that at the end of the day, the what you call as the predicted scores that has been given by Cambridge recently, more or less transforms itself into the perfect scores that we have given in the final examinations. So that way, this collaboration, this methodology of working both with the lesson plans and the assessment part, I think is bringing out wonderful results. And future also, I hope to continue with this, especially in a theoretical paper where we don't have MCQs.
This also, just to add to her, actually when she was talking, I was just thinking, the Blooms is something which is, we keep talking about it theoretically. But if a student is able to sit down and create himself, herself, and I think that's the maximum what anybody can do. And in the process of learning, when the child is independently trying to think, able to put it across, I think this is the process of learning which is very, very important.
See, even when you look, as Dr. Senthil talked about the levels of skills within the taxonomy, you are actually taking your children through your entire learning process into a metacognitive level where they are able to reflect on their own learning and enhance their learning process, especially in instances which are so application based, isn't it? And also when you're looking at the tools for evaluation where they are able to reflect on their own learning journey and then work towards their goal setting and their outcomes, right? So let's hear from Sangeeta. What are her thoughts on this?
Absolutely, Miss. So when you talked about goal setting, this has been a game changer. So in the beginning of the academic year, students are new, they have joined the class, they're curious, they have aspirations, and we ask them to set a goal for one term. And also these goals are, they must be achievable. They should not be like, I want to go to moon, not that kind of goal, of course. So they know their strengths and weaknesses. Maybe somebody is struggling with handwriting. Maybe somebody is struggling with calculations. They're taking way more time. So my little goal can be, maybe I can speed up a little, I can practice more handwriting. So these little goals that they're doing. And we see a lot of change when we take a review after the term is over, that you filled this form, you have set the goals, now you tell, have you been able, or how much have you achieved? It's okay if you have not achieved 100%, but even if you have crossed the 50%, 60%, be proud of yourself and work on that. That can be an additional goal for the next term. I think that has helped students reflect a lot on their understanding. And on the other hand, we, in the class also, when we are planning a lesson, I can say for my subject, biology, there are some topics I know they're tricky, they will take more time. So how I can slow down in those chapters, include more items like games, through gamification or hands-on activities, some way I can reduce the stress that, oh my God, I have to study transcription and translation, all those difficult concepts. So that has been incorporated in the lesson plan. And when we start the class every day, there is a hook that we do, that what did you do yesterday? What did you learn yesterday? There are visual thinking routines. We play a video, we show a picture, and they reflect on that. And that sets the mood for the class. And at the end of the class, we regularly have an exit ticket. It could be one question, it could be a Mentimeter poll, it could be a funny answer. So it brings them back again to the podium that, okay, let me reflect what I studied, let me give the response. And that gives us a data that, okay, maybe I can move to the next concept, or maybe I need one more class to continue with that.
Okay, because while she was talking, I was just thinking about, we always talk about this vocabulary called as lifelong learning. But then I was in one of the conferences at OECD Paris, and I got this, new definition which is coming about lifelong learning, where it basically talks about the child should be able to solve his or her own problems, preferably by adopting technology. Second, it talks about the child should be able to learn independently and learn with peers. That's again something very interesting. And the third thing which came out in that particular definition was that there is so much information available across the world, and the process of learning, what they were trying to talk about, how to choose what is the right information and then use the right information for their own self. So people really, get into this confusion of saying lifelong learning means, okay, I will take a book and I'll keep reading. No, it's not about that. It's all about how do you try to look at it. And this definition is something which is catching up, and then this helps us to also kind of look at it quite clearly. So I think it's we really need to kind of document some of these things and connect it to real-time case studies.
Yeah, so coming to this, I think, Dr. Senthil, I would really like your opinion into understanding that now we have been 5 years in the online space. We have really done wonderful work, and there is so much for us to, share with the world in terms of the quality and the standards that we are doing. I'm sure, are we looking at something that, for the teachers in terms of online standards for the future?
Yeah, because whatever they were trying to talk about, it was also, I was kind of reflecting as a practitioner in the school education space with NEP trying to bring so many changes. The one very important thing which came out was under the new education policies about national professional teacher standards. And I would urge you to document some of these good practices, and then we should try to create and contribute back to the government, trying to say that, okay, these are the practices you're trying to talk as national professional standards. Why can't we have national professional teacher standards for online teachers too? Because it's very important that while we are trying to look at one particular side on the pedagogical effectiveness, the assessment practices, they also played, and it was quite nice to see that they joined as a facilitator, and today they have evolved as a coordinator. So I think that also talks about in the professional standards that a teacher should evolve. And I think if he or she is interested in contributing back as administrative kind of a thing. And the third important thing which comes under the professional standard is also about behavioral. So probably when they are trying to talk about how do they engage with the parents, how do they engage with the children, how do they engage with their own crew. I love this word crew at 21K somehow. So I think it's very important for us that we should, I think you and I along with these people, we should try to come out with a national professional online teacher standards, which should become a benchmark or a reference document, and we should recommend it to the ministry so that others can emulate. And I think this is where the thought leadership of these teachers and yours will be very, very critical for us to set standards for others to follow.
I think it's very interesting, and I think listening to Dr. Senthil, we are all very challenged to now put this document in place where we can have so many people, educators who aspire to come into the online space but are hesitant. I think when you have some document which gives them that understanding and clarity on what is the expectation as a professional, because it's completely different, right? So it's really, thank you so much for that insight, and I think we are very excited to kick that document off, right? So let me take this opportunity to thank each one of you for joining us. And Dr. Senthil, thank you so much for taking time out and sharing all your experience and expertise and giving us fantastic ideas. Thank you, each one of you, for sharing your experiences within 21K School. I know that it has been a fantastic experience individually, but I think as a crew, each one of us has, we have been valuable in contributing towards making this school what it is today. So thank you all for joining us in today's conversation. We hope that this has been an informative and engaging talk for all of you. So hope to see you soon, and thank you so much for joining.